Hello, Allison Ziegler here, and you are joining me today for the podcast Princess Interrupted. Today we are going to be talking about signs from the universe, how to interpret them, ways that they manifest, what they mean, what they don't mean, and how you can use your intuition to communicate and make decisions in an empowered state of your life. Before we dive in, I just want to mention an exciting free masterclass that I'm hosting this upcoming week. It is going to be a confidence masterclass, and this masterclass is all about manifesting confidence to create the life, career, and love of your dreams. When you become more empowered and you radiate from within, it becomes so much easier to draw your desires into your life, into your world, almost effortlessly. This takes the emphasis off of feeling like you need to do things, to make things happen, to take all the steps, to figure out the how, and shift the focus back to you, back to working on the things that are within your control and those variables that actually will have the most impact. I will be sharing all of my favorite confidence secrets and helping get interactive in this masterclass coming this next week. I'm going to include a link to sign up in the show notes. Make sure that you sign up. That's completely free. Let's dive in. Signs from the universe. What are they? How do we interpret them? What's a sign? What's not a sign? What's a sign to do something? What's a sign to give up? It can get so confusing when you start to lean on your internal guidance system and you start to open this channel of communication to the universe, to your guides, to your higher self. You're hearing all these terms. You don't know what's what. What does it mean? What does it mean? Where are we going? On today's episode, I'm going to break this all down for you, and I'm going to teach you how to ask the universe for a sign. I'm going to teach you how to code some common angel numbers. Also going to teach you how to look for signs for yourself. And I'm also going to share some personal stories of things and pitfalls to avoid and things that you don't want to do when you start looking for a sign. All of this will help you on your journey and make sure that you are feeling the most at peace and at ease that you can. Early on in my spiritual journey, right after I had my spiritual awakening, I started being bombarded with angel numbers, and I've seen this happen to me. This happened with my clients. You start seeing 1111 and you're looking at the clock. You see 111. You see 1112. You're like, oh my gosh, I missed it. What does it mean? You look at the clock, it's 332. It's about to 3333. Does that mean you need to do something else for a minute and then look back and then you forget it's 334? What do these mean? Angel numbers, I like to think of them as little signs and little winks from the universe, letting you know that you're on the right path. The mistake that a lot of people make early on when they start trying to interpret angel numbers is they make them more serious than they actually are. They're just a little wink from your spirit team. When you think about the nature of a wink, it's not this big like, whoa, hello. It is just subtle. It's meant to just be like, hey, you're on the right path. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep going. That's the way that I interpret angel numbers. It's funny, I was watching an episode of Nathan For You, or it might have been his new show. I forget the name of his new show. But on the episode, he's talking to somebody and this guy is just like calling out every angel number he sees. He's like, oh, 47, angel number. Oh, 23, angel number. Oh, 112, like calling them all out. And it's like he's not even able to live in reality because he is so transfixed by what is going on in the spiritual realm that he's so disconnected from what's going on in his physical reality. And this is where you don't want to get with angel numbers. The point that a lot of people miss with angel numbers, we are souls having a human experience. We are ultimately here to be human. And while the mystical realms and while the spiritual realms are interesting and we can learn so much about ourselves, communicating with guides and starting to open this channel of communication, don't lose sight of what's going on in reality in the pursuit of this mystical communication. That's where psychosis happens. That's where you get so detached from reality that you can make dangerous decisions. It can be easy to get swept up and caught up in, 1111 following the signs. Angel numbers are just simply little winks from the universe letting you know that you're on the right path or you need to slightly readjust and tweak your energy. I'm going to create a free guide for you based on just some simple angel number sequences, your 111s, your 222s, and I'm going to give you a quick breakdown now just so that you have this information preliminarily. But 111 is your thoughts are manifesting quickly. So just be conscious of what you're thinking about. If you're thinking about unwanted things, shift your perspective so that you start thinking about actually things that you're desiring. 222, this means you're in the right place at the right time. This is alignment, this is affirmation, this is you are exactly where you're meant to be. 333 means that the things that you're working towards are actively coming to you. I also believe that 333 equates a sign of balance. It can represent that ascended masters are in your space. 444, angels are in your space. Someone is looking out for you. This one's funny because whenever I see 443, I'm like, does that mean my angels abandoned me? It's just sometimes we need these reminders that we are supported and we are guided. And when you see 444, it's often a sign that you're just in the right place, right time. You're supported, you're balanced, universe has got your back. When I was staying in a hotel in New York City, for example, this weekend, I stayed at a hotel. It was 44 West 44th Street. And so I was like, okay, good sign. But I'm going to talk about what not to do after this, which is don't get too caught up. Like, don't necessarily live your life at the whim of what's going on externally. But on to 555, which is change. This is positive changes are happening. Positive changes are surfacing. The changes that you're making are contributing to creating the life that you've been desiring. 666, this can either mean to slightly reevaluate your thinking. I also really have started to interpret this as just getting in balance with your feminine side. This can look like stop trying to force things. Stop trying to make things happen. Honor what is. Lean into flow. That's the way to interpret 666. 777, you are a soul having a human experience. This is a reminder not to take anything too seriously. This is a reminder to just slow down and appreciate what is and understand that the challenges that you're facing are all part of your divine path. Everything is as it's meant to be, and just lean into trusting this. Ask for guidance if you really do feel lost and like you're seeking support. 888, this is abundance and money. It's also this infinity sign. It just is the sign of circulation. What's coming is going. What's going is coming. Trusting yourself enough to let things go, but knowing that they will make their way back to you. This is a reminder to circulate abundance. And this doesn't need to mean to physically spend money, but this can just be put good energy out into the world. Abundance, taking note, being grateful how much you actually have. 999 means that a cycle is coming to an end. It means that you're reaching a point of completion. It means that something's coming to an end. It means that you've kind of mastered this current state of affairs or just see things through to the end. 1111, this is ultimate alignment. This just means you're on the right path. Keep going. You're doing what you need to be doing. You're in the right place. You're in the right time. And this is also the twin flame number. I'm going to do a whole episode on twin flames. That is a topic that I really got lost in the early part of my awakening journey. And I wish I would have had support that wasn't a scammy psychic. 1111, don't get lost in it, but it just means you're in the right place, right time, you're aligned, everything's coming to you. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. There are other angel numbers, and these will be specific to you. These can be people's birthdays of individuals who have passed, people's birthdays in your world. You can communicate with people on a spiritual realm in addition to physical communication. You do this all the time when you imagine the way that someone might respond to a situation. That might be filled in with your ego, but you can also sometimes just tap into the energy of a situation and understand how to communicate with someone. And you can do this with people who have crossed and people who have passed or people who are still physically in your life. So you might see someone's birthday. It's a reminder to think of someone, or it's someone's thinking of you. You might see signs that remind you of a friend and you think to reach out to them. Or maybe you see signs reminding you of someone and then you physically run into this person. This is all communication coming from an energetic realm that is coming into your physical reality. That's all that manifestation is taking ideas and turning them into something that you get to walk out in the physical 3D plane. That's what this earthly realm is referred to as in spiritual circles, as the 3D plane. The 5D is where you're getting the communications from these spirit guides and your higher self. Now, with signs, oftentimes they're just a reflection of your current subconscious. Your subconscious was developed primarily between the ages of 0 to 7 years old. You are a walking sponge as you were going through this part of life developmentally. So your subconscious can also reflect back your fears to you. And this is why you can't get too caught on angel numbers and making decisions externally. It's no better than if you're calling a friend asking for advice than it is going based and living your life based on angel numbers. You ultimately want to get to the place in your life where you are your own inner authority, and you can use these numbers as guides and reference and just make them the little wink that they are. They don't hold too much weight. They can be nice little reminders of how supported you are. When I saw the 44 West, whatever, the hotel that was all the fours, I didn't make the decision to stay there because of that. That was an added bonus that I was just like, okay, I feel like I am in the right place. I ended up being penthouse, ended up being great vibes. Loved it. perfect. It doesn't mean that staying somewhere else would have been bad. It doesn't mean any of those things. Also, sometimes you'll get a sign and it's not what you actually want to follow. Your intuition always knows best. The signs are simply a reflection of your subconscious, but your intuition and tuning inward, that's where you're going to get the real answers. This is why I incorporate meditation into almost all of my trainings, all of my teachings, all of my live streams, all of my programs, my coaching, my courses, because meditation is really closing your eyes, centering, and going inward. And when you connect to your breath and you go inward and you silence the outside world, you can really just start to get clear and present with what is. And you can pause the external reality and just really sit with yourself. And there's so much power in doing this. I was making a decision this weekend, and I want to share when an angel number came to me negatively. Angel numbers can also be things that have significance to you. If you've listened to the podcast, you might have heard my story about getting scammed by a psychic and how she used an angel number negatively against me. And with this negative angel number that she shared, it was 1656, and it was, if you added the 1 to the 5 and got the 6, it was 666, and it meant all these terrible things, and I was never going to live up to my full potential because of this energy that was keeping me back. And I was very fearful of that for a while. And I must admit, when I see this number sequence, it trips me up a little bit. I've done a tremendous amount of healing, but it was psychologically something I had to overcome. And I saw this, I was in the hotel lobby in New York this weekend. I was getting ready to come back to Pennsylvania. And tickets had dropped for this event. I had been eyeing this event for a while. It's an opportunity to meet other female coaches and entrepreneurs. And I wasn't sure if I was going to go. I was like, financially, is this what I really want to be doing right now? All the things that your ego does when it's trying to keep you stuck and trying to keep you safe. That's the ego's job. I went to buy the ticket, and I got texted a code. Now, the code came from the number like 16561, something where if you added it up, it was the scary psychic number. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this a sign this isn't that I'm not supposed to go? And then I went and I was typing in the code, the security code for the credit card. I was going to type this in, and then the code was wrong. And I started to get nervous. Like, are these external signs showing me that I'm not meant to go to this event? And I made a decision. And I was like, you know what? This is not the energy I want to go into purchasing tickets for this event with. And I was like, you know what? If this event is meant for me, it's not going to pass me by. But if I'm going to buy a ticket, this is going to be a point of change for me. This is going to be the moment my life shifts. I am not going to be the same after buying the ticket and going to this event. And the version of me who goes and actually makes this what I'm looking for it to be, she shows up proud, and she's proud to buy that ticket, and she makes it happen. She's not buying it in fear, cowering. Did I make the wrong mistake? Did I make the mistake? Like, looking externally for feedback. And so I did a meditation, and I really sat. And I did a meditation by Amanda Francis, one of my favorite mentors. She teaches a lot of money empowerment. And I sat and I did a meditation. And in the meditation, she was just talking about how guided you are and how supported you are and how the universe has your back and you're not doing it alone. And it reminded me of this quote from Wayne Dyer. And it says, "If you knew who walked beside you at all times on the path that you have chosen, you would never experience fear or doubt again." And it's from A Course in Miracles is the original text. If you only knew who it is that walks beside you, you would never be afraid. And it just reminded me that I was guided to do this, and I stopped judging myself and I owned it. And I was like, I want to be in that room. I don't want to wait a year to be the person who gets to have this transformation or this experience. I don't want this to just linger on. I want to go. I want to be in that room. And I made it happen. And I bought that ticket. And looking back, I was like, this is going to be the moment that changes my life. This changes my life because I decide that it gets to. And I get to bring that energy. So the point of this, that angel number came up because I needed to shift my energy. If I was going to make this decision, I needed to make it. So as you can see, sometimes you'll have an angel number that means something negative, but it was actually just telling me to shift. When you see 1112, it doesn't mean that you're out of alignment, and that number might have a different meaning for you. Maybe you know somebody who's born on November 12th, and that's like, no, that's my number. Everything is up to personal interpretation. You are your own guide. I can guide you based on the information and knowledge that has worked for me, but you are your own authority. Different people have different interpretations because we all have different experiences of the world. So trust that. But if you see a sign and you're like, I don't like that number, it's telling me something's off, trust that. And it doesn't necessarily mean not to move forward. It means to shift your energy. Your energy is oftentimes the only thing that you actually have full control over. If you're on the edge of making a financial investment, do it from an empowered state. The energy you put into something is so much more powerful and potent than the action itself. Remember that. The action itself is only as powerful as the energy you put behind it. Are you box checking, or are you actually empowered? Are you actually taking this step because you think it can change your life, or are you just going to use it as evidence that you can't have the life that you want? So keep this in mind. So when you're opening up this communication with the universe, just know the support is there and waiting for you and willing to find you. If you found this episode, I take it that there's probably some sort of guides who are looking to communicate with you. You can work with guides for different areas of your life as well, and guides can serve in different forms. For example, with writing my book, I follow Gabby Bernstein and I look to her for some guidance with writing books. And one of the exercises she has us do is connecting to your guides when you're writing your book. And I have a guide named Leaf. I found Leaf back in 2019, Leif, which is weird. I had never even heard of that name before. And Leaf comes to me through the ink color green. So when I need to connect to Leaf, and Leaf is my guide assigned to helping me write my book. And anytime I need to connect to Leaf, I write in green and I write to Leaf and I just talk to him about what's going on. Or anytime I sit down to write the book. And what happens when you create this communication, the projects that you're working on creatively, your desire for a new job, your desire for love, these are all, you're supported continually. You're not on your own doing this. And it really helps me think about the fact that I'm supported and I'm not alone. And so when I sit and I connect with Leaf, I am able to write things, or I'm able to revisit it when it makes sense. And now I actually have a structure and a schedule where I write 10 pages per month for my book, but there was a while where it was really hard for me. Now's the time that it's meant to come out, and it's become very evident and obvious that the universe is asking me to do this project. So how do I know this? What does communicating with my intuition look like in terms of this example? I looked over, as I said, I know that I'm being really guided to do this, and I look and I see butterflies. And butterflies for me are typically a symbol just to keep going. Like butterflies for me are one of my symbols. I think about other symbols, like cranes are one of my symbols. I see these things out in the wild and they'll remind me of certain things. And they'll remind me to do things. As I look over, I see the crown from Princess Interrupted that I use for the podcast, but also symbolizes the book. And I'm like, seeing all these positive signs of affirmation, like this is something that I'm meant to be working on. This is something I'm meant to pay attention to. It doesn't mean, hey, if you don't do this, something bad's going to happen. It just means that the resources and the support are there and waiting for me. And as soon as I'm ready to work on that project, the universe will meet me halfway and guiding me to complete it. How do you find the balance between following the signs and doing what you're like just living your normal life? Here's how I look at it. I created a schedule for myself, and on Mondays, I write on my Substack. On Tuesdays, I release my podcast episodes. I upload them to YouTube. On Wednesdays, I typically do carousel posts. On Thursdays, blah, blah, blah. I have like different days that I like to do different things. So I've created a structure for myself. And then I do the work when I feel guided to do the work. And you could do this for anything. Let's say that you're looking for a new job, or let's say that you're starting a business. Let's say that you're looking for a relationship. You do these actions when you feel inspired. You create the schedule, but you take the action from your inspired energy. And you pray and ask for guidance. I do this a lot in my journal. I do this when I take action. I do this before I create content. I'll sit and I'll know that I'll have something to write. And I really love to do it early, but typically it takes me some time to get going. And I'll sit and I'll ask for guidance. And I'll say, help me connect to the hearts of the people who need to hear my work. I actually find that when you're manifesting an outcome, it helps to kind of shift your focus so you're not burning it with your energy. If you're a human design generator, you might burn it with your energy if you focus on it directly. So help me to connect to myself to find the love that I'm deeply craving. If you're working on a job, keep reverting back to purpose. Help me to serve. Help me to create work that is meaningful to others. Help me to show up as the best possible version of myself in this project. Help to guide me. These are communications that I have with myself and have with my universe. I'll have them in the journal. Just asking for guidance. That's what's really served me. That's what's really served me. So I hope that this helps you in terms of learning to connect with your intuition, where to start, what numbers to look for, what different number sequences mean, and what not to do. Don't get lost or let anybody tell you that there's something in your energy field that's blocking you, and if you don't clear it, you'll never be happy, and if you see this number sequence, it's going to follow you around forever. We don't live by those rules. You are the ultimate authority in your life, and you get to feel good in the pursuit of the things that make you happy. And if you are not happy or satisfied with where you're at right now in your life, it's your soul urging you and asking you to go deeper and to look for more. So that's this episode of Princess Interrupted. As I mentioned, I'm hosting a free confidence workshop next week. Check the show notes for the link to register and sign up to catch me live. You get an immediate free gift when you sign up. It's a confidence hypnosis. Listen to this for 21 days for ultimate effects. If you loved this episode, please make sure to rate it 5 stars. Follow along. Write a review, and I am also now enrolling spots for one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in learning about the details, I have 2 amazing specials going on, and you can schedule a free discovery call with me. We can get clear on what you're looking to manifest, what comes next for you, where to start, and it would just be truly an honor to guide and support you this next season and to help you step into the version of yourself who just radiates happiness, who has a life that is just so aligned and reflective of who you truly are on the inside. I'm Allison. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.